Mm. Praise the Lord, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome back to another Good Morning Greek Devotion. It's your boy, Pastor Corey Allen Duncan Sr. So happy and excited to have this wonderful opportunity to come to you today to lead you in a very special way in today's Good Morning Grief Devotion. Hey, this is the daily grief devotion that is strategically designed to help you to navigate through your grief one day at a time. What is grief? I'm so glad you asked. Grief, my brothers and sisters, it is the natural, the normal, and the necessary response to loss, change, and transition that results in the expressions of feelings and emotions. Grief is what you feel on the inside. Mourning is how you reveal it on the outside. Therefore, we don't suppress it, but we express it. We don't ignore it, but we explore it. We don't conceal it, but we reveal it. We don't lock it up, but we let it out. That's why we shout good morning, because morning is indeed, it is a good thing. And I'm so grateful that you're here with us on today as we lead you in a very special way in today's Good Morning Grief Devotion. Today, my brothers and sisters, is day 143. This message is for you and for me. We're going to talk about something called unspoken grief. Unspoken grief. Unspoken grief. Make sure you like, share, tag somebody in this post if the lesson is a blessing to you. It's going to be a blessing to somebody else. It doesn't cost you anything to share it onto your platform. Other people may chime in, join in, and be able to benefit from the blessing of what God is going to share on today. We're going to talk about unspoken grief. Unspoken grief. Let's talk about it, y'all. Psalm 56:8. You keep track of all my sorrows. You have collected all of my tears in your bottle. You have recorded each one in your book. God keeps track of all of our sorrows. He has collected all of our tears. That's why today we're going to talk about unspoken grief. Some grief lives in silence, not because it doesn't hurt, but because it feels too personal, too complicated, too painful to speak aloud. Some grief lives in silence because it's too personal, too complicated, right? To speak aloud. It is too painful to articulate it aloud. And so it goes unspoken and it lives in silence. Pastor Duncan, what are you talking about? Miscarriages that weren't announced, abortions mourned privately, estranged relationships that never had closure, losses hidden behind strong smiles and busy schedules. These are the unspoken griefs, the ones that don't come with casseroles, condolences, or cards. Yet their weight is just as heavy. These are unspoken griefs. Remember, grief is loss, change, and transition. Anything you lose, anything that changes, any transition that takes place in your life, 10 times out of 10, there that you feel something about it, whether good or not so good, you feel something about it. But because it may be too painful, but because it may be too personal, because it may be too complicated, you may not understand it yourself. Other people may look at you crazy. Y'all, it goes unspoken and you end up suffering in silence because you feel like you don't have a voice or a safe place or safe space to articulate what you're feeling. Let's talk about it again. Miscarriages that were not announced. Miscarriages that were not announced. You think about that. I had a baby and I miscarried the baby, right? Some people say you ain't know him enough, long enough to get an attachment. That's the stuff. That's the dumb stuff people say, right? It's still a loss, right? It's change, it's transition. The hope you had for the child that you were carrying that no longer is there, right? Miscarriages, abortions mourned privately. You didn't even know it. How you gonna be sad over stuff you didn't know? That's the dumb stuff people say, right? There are people I know, a couple of individuals that like had abortions early on, later in life never found their partner or connected with anybody and got, and so now they're upwards in their 50s and 60s and not married, never had children. And they think back to that, like, was that my one opportunity? Like, that I dang, like, man, they feel something about whatever you feel. And this is the thing, whatever you feel, grief, natural, normal, necessary response. It's your response to loss, change, and transition that results in the expressions of feelings and emotions. You feel something, but because you don't want to articulate it, you don't feel it's safe to articulate it, you don't have the space or the opportunity to articulate it, the miscarriage, the abortion, you suffer in silence, right? Estranged relationships that never had closure. Some people saying we say good stuff, we say slick stuff, we say stuff that helps us to kind of process and move on. Like their actions was all the closure you needed, right? And that's cute. And that can be true sometimes. But sometimes you still feel something towards that estranged relationship that never had closure. You start to think about, man, all that history we had, as tight as we used to be, all the conversations we had, all the encounters we had, and this is how it ends. And people would say, hey, it is what it is. God saved you. You don't know what he was saying. This is true. And it's also true that I can still grieve and mourn how I feel, right? That don't try to rush me to wellness, right? That's what we do. Somebody died. Well, to be absent from the body is the presence with the Lord. This is true, but don't rush me to wellness because right now I'm in my feelings about them not being here. So I'm gonna just need you to shut your mouth. Let me feel what I feel without reminding me of something that I'm already well aware of, right? And so the estranged relationship that you didn't get closure, the closure, perhaps even with the loved one that transitioned, right? If you didn't get an opportunity to have closure in that particular instance, losses hidden behind strong smiles, busy schedules. These are the unspoken, and there's so many more. These are just a few that I named, but there are so many more. When you go from being single to getting married, right? This is a transition, and people say you're supposed to be happy, and you might be happy, but you also may feel a little something tucked away in there and you're scared to articulate it because people are saying, girl, he's such a wonderful man, a provider, blah, blah, blah. I don't even know what you're feeling. Or, man, she's so beautiful. You lucky anybody would kill to have to be in your position. Yeah, I get that. But this is a major transition. This transition comes along with feelings and emotions. Give me the opportunity to feel these emotions. When people retire, people, oh, you retired. Everybody happy, and you might be happy too. But guess what? This is loss, it's change, and it's transition. You've been doing something for 65 years of your life, right? And now all of a sudden, you don't have to no more. Y'all, you feel something about that. How do I process this? Any loss, change, or transition, no matter how big, no matter how small, a lot of times it's unspoken grief. We don't say anything, right? We don't say anything. I love it, yeah, because they're the unspoken griefs, the ones that these don't come with casseroles, they don't come with condolences, they don't come with cards, yet their weight is just as heavy. When your sorrow has no space or name in public, it's easy to question if your pain is valid. So many of us question if our pain is valid. I told you my car died. This is a couple years ago. And me and my silly self, I did a whole video and, you know, preached a sermon. I just, it was real funny. And and people said, man, that's just a car. It's materialistic. Shut your mouth. Because this is the thing. My kids grew up in that car. When I went back and made the video and I put in the video the moments that were shared in that car, there was some memorable moments, right? That took place in that car. The first days of school took place in that car. Traveling across the country took place. My kids literally grew up in that car. Right now that it's dead, it's got to go. And I understand that. But it comes with feelings and emotions. You give yourself the opportunity to feel those feelings and those emotions. This is any loss, change, or transition. Your daughter going off to college, it comes with feelings and emotions. You got to move houses, it comes with feelings and emotions. You transitioning from a house to apartment, it comes with feelings and emotions. You and your own job, and they moving you from the first floor to the third floor, even if it's a promotion and a bigger right, y'all, it still comes with feelings and emotions. If it's loss, if it's change, if it's transition, attached to it is feelings and emotions. And I want to liberate you and free you and give you permission and give you the opportunity to feel what you feel. Don't let anybody tell you that you don't have the right to feel. No longer will you allow this grief to go unspoken, articulated. I just gave you the framework. I just told you what it is grief. Some of you don't know, like, I don't know what I'm feeling. I can't. It's grief because you're trying to process this loss, change, transition. You're trying to process how you feel about this situation. It's grief, right? Give yourself permission to feel. But God sees what others don't. He hears what you never say it out loud. He holds space for the heartbreaks that go unmentioned and offers healing for the wounds that no one knows you carry. Your grief matters, period. That's going to be our next devotion. Your grief matters. Your grief matters. How you feel, right? Regarding this loss, change, and transition, your grief matters. Even if the world has moved on, even if no one else acknowledges it, even if it never had a ceremony or a name, God does not need a headline to tend to your heart. Hear me again, beloved. Your grief matters. God does not need a headline to tend to your heart. He meets you in the silence with compassion and not condemnation. Here's your point of application today. If you're carrying unspoken grief, name it privately today in a journal, in a whispered prayer, or a moment of stillness. Say to God, you see what no one else sees. Help me carry what I've been holding alone. In your hidden sorrow, He brings holy comfort. Today, my brothers and sisters, is day 143. Told you this lesson was going to be for you and for me. Unspoken grief. How many of y'all can relate to this lesson today? And I know that you are here because of the loss of a loved one. Is there any other area in your life where you can say, yep, I got unspoken grief in this area? Is there any area attached to the loved one you lost to where you're saying, yep, there's unspoken grief in this particular area? How many of y'all can relate to this lesson today? I appreciate y'all joining us. Appreciate y'all joining us and hope and pray that you've gotten some clarity, you've gotten some understanding, but you will be able to name it, name it, and name it. I love it. Hope that you're able to, even if nobody else acknowledges it, even if it never had a ceremony or Mhm. Good morning, Brother Reggie. How you doing this morning, Brother Reggie? Got retired while on medical leave. See that? Got retired while on medical leave. Probably didn't get to say goodbye. Maybe didn't get to make your rounds. Maybe like, how do I process this? I'm on medical leave and I got retired. Like, what feelings, what emotions come attached to that? Right? Name it. I can definitely relate. I had unspoken grief of a friendship earlier this year. See, unspoken grief. What feelings, what emotions were attached to that? Right? Go through that process. That's what helps us. That's what helps us to process what we're feeling. That's what helps us to navigate through that. Natasha says loss of job, old home, things I was in as a couple, etc. Yes, all of those things. loss, change, and transition. Then there's unspoken grief, and we don't say nothing. People may look at us crazy, right? But those are the things you have to name. Those are the things, all of those things, attached to them are feelings and emotions, right? Everybody was gone when I went back for personal items. See, never got that's closure, didn't get closure. These are community, that's a village. People you work with for years, right? For years. Village, community, bonds, birthdays, parties, ups, downs, struggles, good times, bad times, and never got an opportunity to articulate how you feel. So all of these things, y'all, there's feelings and emotions attached to them, right? So what do we do? Look at the point of application. If you're carrying spoken grief, name it privately today, right? So what do? We name it privately. Y'all, just like y'all did, right? Y'all just named it. Y'all just named what it was, right? Y'all named what it was. In a journal, whisper prayer, moment of stillness, say to God, you see what no one else sees. Help me carry what I've been holding alone. In your hidden sorrow, he brings only comfort. You name it and name the feelings that are attached to it. What are those feelings that are attached to that thing that happened? Articulate it, right? Grief is what we feel on the inside. Mourning is how we reveal it on the outside. Therefore, we don't suppress it, but we express it. That release, it brings about relief. Just acknowledging it. Just acknowledge it. If you just acknowledge, there are some things, if you just acknowledge, I'm cool. I'm cool. If I can just acknowledge this, right? So just having the opportunity to articulate it, to say it out loud, to speak it, to acknowledge it. Then when you acknowledge it, name it, and what feelings are attached to it, sadness. And why is it sadness? Why is it regret? Just articulate it, right? You feel, you reveal, and you heal. That's the process. You feel, you reveal. That's what helps you to heal, because that release, it brings about relief. And that's the whole goal. Man, I appreciate y'all today. We learned so I hope y'all learned something today. We're going to continue to go and grow and be all that God desires for us to be. And I appreciate y'all sincerely. I mean, I'm going to post this. I'm going to repost this. Make sure y'all go back and share it in word form. Let it bless somebody else. Hey, I hope y'all have a phenomenal Friday. Love y'all with the love of the Lord. I'm going to see y'all tomorrow, same time, same place, for another Good Morning Grief devotion.